I just spoke to the congresswoman, and we both agreed that this would be an excellent time to call on the president to produce his birth certificate so we could put this to rest once and for all, because we all agree this is what's holding America back. No, I'm kidding. I just called the congresswoman, and I conceded the election, and I guess I'm excited that this puts me one step closer to Sarah Palin, because she, of course, lost an election, did a reality TV show with Mark Burnett, and is out of work. And now I can claim all three. So I guess that's the good news. Although now that I think about that, that's not so good. but thank you all for coming out. There's a quote that I was thinking about, win or lose, that I wanted to use, and it's basically that we learn something every day, but we get to decide what it is. And I think we have that choice here tonight. What do we learn? Do we choose to be cynical and say that voters refuse to see the light, or that they made the wrong decision, or whatever, or that big money won out? Or do we choose to see the positive in this? And I think there is a lot of positive. We've proven that you can run a campaign without taking any special interest money. We're the only campaign in the country for federal office without a single penny from PAC contributions. We did run a great campaign. A lot of people have acknowledged that. It's been in the federal and in national news, and I think that's something worth pointing out. We didn't run a negative campaign. We chose not to focus on sideshows or personal attacks, and I think that's something worth valuing, worth pointing out. And we also show that you don't need a big campaign. You don't need something that's filled with tens, that's got to be in the millions of dollars to run a competitive campaign. Now, obviously, things didn't work out as well as I would have liked, but the support that we received and the amount of attention and the help, and so many of you in this room did help. And that shows that's all the difference, and that's a lesson that I'm taking away. That somebody who decided a year ago to run for Congress with no money, no experience, no name recognition, and no idea how to run a campaign could still be standing before you a year later and have cameras around him listening to what he's saying, instead of him just being a crazy guy on the sidewalk. And I think that shows that everybody has a voice, and no matter how impossible something sounds, you don't give up. And what I've learned from all of you and all of your support is that it really is the most important thing. There's a great quote in The West Wing that, and I'm going to butcher the quote, so I'll just paraphrase it, but that if you're in a hole and different people pass by, if a scientist passes by, he would, he'd try to explain to you the technicalities of how you get out of that hole. Maybe if a priest passes by, he'd tell you to pray for you. If a friend passes by, the friend jumps in the hole with you because he wants to figure it out with you and he wants to be there with you. And I think all of you here in this room, and there were so many who couldn't be here, you guys jumped in that hole with me. When we did, it was even deeper now. The election wasn't as close as maybe we wanted it to be. But it was even worse then, and you guys all jumped into that hole with me, and you were there with me. Not because we thought we would win for sure, not because we thought it was even a practical shot, because you said you wanted to be standing side by side with me. And that's something I'll never forget for my whole life, and I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And if nothing else, this has taught me that anything is possible. We've come a long way. We didn't go quite far enough to achieve everything that we wanted, but it does show that literally no dream is too big and anything can be accomplished. So I want to thank you all for leaving me with that belief after a year of doing this full time and literally just pouring myself completely into this. I am not. I know some of you who know me know that I can sort of obsess over things and maybe really take them to heart. But that's not the case. I mean, I take away the positive of this. And so many of you stood with me, and so many of you were by my side helping me and encouraging me on. And so I couldn't be prouder to know you, to have you as my friends and supporters. And I want to thank you. And that's the only lesson that I take away. So thank you all very much for being here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, buddy. My pleasure. Thanks for driving all the way down. Jason,